welcome back. So I know that I'm wearing the same clothes as I was like from the previous video, but that's all because like I'm shooting like multiple videos, on the same day. Uh, just because when I get productive, I just kind of hyper focus and I kind of just pump out videos like that. Today I kind of wanted to discuss about therapy. So you don't need to go to therapy. Now, there are definitely people who do, especially people who are, struggling with major trauma or, impulses, uh, you know, childhood struggles. And there is a bunch of serious situations and conditions in which would make the individual going to therapy um, a much more favorable option. Sometimes it could be even required that they go to therapy. But kind of excluding those extreme cases, I'm just talking about the people who aren't in like the dire need of therapy or people who have experienced resistance in therapy of any kind. So, if we look at this from an empirical sense, there is this underlying principle that goes unnoticed. I'm not going to say it's necessarily universal per se because I don't know if it is, but this principle is the empirical form of many, many mental health practices that are carried out today. So, what is this principle that I'm talking about? Well, there's this philosopher named Arthur Schopenhauer, and um, one of his ideas were that in order to look for an explanation about something, um, a presupposed condition that needs to be there is the distinction between a subject and an object. The subject is basically the being or something that sees or like that perceives. And an object is the thing that is being perceived or being seen. What does this have anything to do with the context of mental health? Well, let's just say that the subject was me. The object would be my thoughts, feelings, desires, impulses, um, and all those things. And I know that, like, in psychological terms, we call all those things bundled together as our ego. So now that we've established the subject and the object, basically, what the principle states is that you want to distinguish the two, you want to separate the two. And it's only when you separate it that the subject is able to study the object and to examine the object in its form. It's turning something that is covert into something that can be overtly studied. And this is basically what governs a lot of mental health practices that are being carried out today, such as therapy, um, meditation, journaling, praying, introspection, and many more that I can't really think of right now. But the important thing in all of this is that we're trying to separate ourselves from our feelings, our thoughts, emotions, etc. So basically, we're trying to separate ourselves from our ego so that we can better examine ourselves and, carry out a more fruitful introspection about ourselves. Let me just give you an example of how this could be carried out. Let's just say that I was really, really sad right now, but I have no idea why I'm sad. So, what I do is, since I am the subject and my sadness is the object, what I do is I try to view my sadness as if it were like not part of myself. So, like an entity that is completely separated from the subject, which is me. And so then I can start asking questions. Why does this sadness exist? Um, what is this sadness indicating at all? You can ask all those introspective questions about that sadness, objectively analyzing and examining um, this emotion can bring about more objective explanations as to why this sadness exists. So I'm not saying that this principle governs like every aspect of all the mental health practices out there. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that this principle is kind of like the mechanism of self-awareness. And as you may know, no matter what, you know, mental health practice an individual chooses, self-awareness is the very first step. That something is wrong, or, I'm feeling a certain way, or something is happening, or, self-awareness always comes first. I remember this one comment on the schizoid personality disorder video, and this person said that they hated therapy, and uh, they ended up just being left alone for however many years, and they're doing just fine. And honestly, like when I read that comment, I'm like, I feel really good for that person. Like that person found what worked right for them. So I know that in my What Is It videos, I mention a bunch of psychotherapy options for a certain disorder. And although those are the psychotherapy options within the realm of therapy, um, I am definitely a person that believes that therapy is not the only option. So I feel like that's also kind of why I wanted to make this video, because I kind of wanted to express my own opinions about therapy. There are so many people that, you know, fare way better by doing their own thing, um, than actually, going to a therapist or a mental health professional to sort things out. And there's a bunch of other like self-help, you know, gurus out there too that have made massive differences to a lot of people as well. Whatever works well for you, just go and do that. Like, one size definitely does not fit all in, you know, such cases as getting better mentally. It's just something that everybody needs to experiment and figure out for themselves as to what works best for them. I think that's all I have to say about this. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.